Dietro di me è lo stage di The Top 100, un evento.
Behind me is the Top 100 stage, an event put together by superyacht.com, the website that specializes on mega yachts.
Per esempio, Blomenbos, che durante le guerre ha costruito la corazza.
So who's on the list? The biggest mega yacht builders, of course, for example Blum and Voss, who during the war built the battleship Bismarck and numerous U-boats. They now build boats with a distinct pleasure angle. Lursen, on the other hand, has built the biggest pleasure boat in the world. Coincidentally, Azam used the Milanese studio Nauta to design it. It was an interesting moment, very different from the shows and the quick or chance meetings that we are used to. Work meetings that may lead to discovering the new fashions and what's to come in the yachting world in the next years, how the boats will be designed, how green and sustainable they'll be. Here are some of the main players to tell us more.
I don't think, first of all, the 180 meter is not the result of a race for the biggest boat. If you look at Azam, you'll see she has a very long foreship. That's about 60 meters. You can make it 50 meters. It's still very long. The boat is only 170. But the length of the boat was purely design driven. What was made the designer and more importantly, the owner happy in terms of the balance of the design. So this owner doesn't need to join in the race for the biggest boat. Secondly, I think people, the clients of today, make a very conscious decision about the size of the yacht. And the size of the yacht is not any longer like, mine needs bigger than another one. The size of the yacht today is purely a function of the features and the space requirement inside the boat.
Designing Azam has been a big challenge for us. We couldn't have gone through it if we hadn't done a 3-year experience in designing Project Light, which was started the construction with the Fincantieri yachts in 2006. This was firstly implemented with the experience with Lursen, which is the world leader in top 100 plus length overall mega yachts. It was a great achievement for us, more than for its length and for being the biggest, the largest yacht in the world. I would say for the result. We had a lot of appreciation and compliments.
We don't think that we should put so much emphasis on size only because you hear so often size matters. I think size does not matter because what we aim at is trying to build the dream boat for a client, and whether that's 40 meter, 70 meter or 100 meters or more, that's not relevant. We aim to be producing the best quality boat and giving the client a wonderful experience, enjoying the process, building with us, and at the end of the day getting their dream come true.
We're doing a very interesting boat right now. It's 72 meter for someone who is leading a very active lifestyle, between surfing, heli skiing, full on all the time. And I think this will become a trend. And we've done explorer vessels in the past. One is called Octopus, you may have heard of, seen. She's been traveling continuously for the last 10 years since it was delivered. And been to the most amazing places in the world, Antarctica, Arctic, done the Northwest Passage many times. And she's a good example of what you can do with a private yacht if you have the time and the means. And I think we'll see more of this.
We are the ones who do the ultimate one-off. That means we build exactly what the client wants. We allow any design features, any challenge. There's no challenge we can't cope with. That's what we do. We are far away from any standards, from platform business or semi-customized. We do only one-offs. Those who are willing to afford a one-off typically go for the bigger vessels. That means in the range of 100 meter exceeding. That's what we do, and that is what they might assess us to be.
Yachting is definitely moving in some interesting directions now. I mean, finally we're seeing materials such as glass being used, you know, with all this potential in terms of glass as a structural element, which previously was only maybe in buildings by people like Apple, or else on your cell phone with Gorilla Glass. But it's, you know, a number of our projects at the moment are using glass structurally, glass as bulwarks in the lifts and the staircases. It's a very interesting element, and it's a very nice element on a yacht because it allows you to open up to the sea and really enjoy the experience of being on the ocean.
I think if you look at Alfanero, that was the beginning of perhaps the type of boats we produce today. And it was in its time an iconic yacht. It's still iconic. It won something like 5 awards at the time, and it won every award for exterior finish, interior finish, naval architect. So it is definitely a great boat. I think there's no doubt that Italy produces some of the best designers, exterior designers as well as interior designers. Italians are very artistic, and I think a combination of North European manufacturing and Italian design is a good combination.
The opportunity of the Made in Italy to continue the growth in the mega yacht industry is still there. We saw in the last period several opportunities for us. For Siren, we presented an 80 meter with great success in Monte Carlo. There is a lot of shipyards that are growing quite well, and also people working in the industry. I will always remember that there is an Italian architect who designed Asam, the largest boat in the world. So the Italian could continue to play a strategic role in all segments. Surely China in 3 to 5 years will become one of the largest markets in the world, and I think we must be a little bit patient to wait and let them grow in nautical culture. That I think the big point for them. Money is not only an issue in our business. I think knowing products, knowing how to live in the products, be close to the sea, will be the next step for all the Chinese world.
If we look at the sailing yacht market, certainly the reality of new building sales in 2013 would appear to indicate a trend of somewhat smaller units rather than the larger units that we may have seen in the past. All 4 of the units that were sold are in the 40-something meter range, either fractionally below or just above around 46 meters. So there weren't any 60 meter, let's say 500 gross ton, sub 500 gross ton vessels sold last year, at least that we're aware of. When we look at handcraft and artisanal excellence, let's say, and the industrial requirements of capacity and wherewithal to be able to build these much larger vessels, unequivocally the industrial capacity has a very, very important role to play. Without it, it's simply impossible. I think from where we sit, we see the handcraft and the artisanal excellence as let's say the crowning jewel on what has to be a very well established and very well integrated base of industrial capacity.
We are always working in dedicated groups, and I say always you can put 100 craftsmen together, you might get quality, but if you put 100 craftsmen together and you support them with a dedicated team of managers, naval architects, give them the right tools, give them the right machinery and the right materials to build a boat, and a good social environment. People stay with you, they get loyalty in return, and they're the best motivated craftsmen for the rest of their life in your company. And that's why it's a family company.
The family values and the family bonds are of extreme importance to us. First of all, we are still 100% owned by my cousin and by me. We are the fourth generation, starting in 1875 with my grandfather. Very surprising, my grandmother ran the business for 6 years, from 32 to 38. Then my uncle and my father. For us, it's important that we keep the family tradition and keep the family spirit in the company. It's nice to have the feeling there is a Mr. Perini, a Mr. Lersen, a Mrs. Heusmann in this case, or a Henk de Vries. I think this adds to the value of the product.